surprise there, right, though, because Sonix is
he's
a
literally
top 5 player in the world.
He's literally won entire regionals and majors without dropping a game.
That is the kind of player he is. I mean, look, the #1 in Dominican Republic, and he's been out in Las Vegas for a while and just, again, winning absolutely everything. I mean, again, this guy, I don't care what you have to say about his playstyle. I really don't. It is amazing to watch somebody as preternaturally talented at this game as he is. Just insane stamina for the game and so smart if you've ever listened to him talk about the game.
I think that's an important thing that you bring up, Kimona, is stamina. Where it's like, yeah, you can complain that Sonic's going to be in the corner doing the spin dash, but you gotta think about how long in a day you have to be spending mental energy to focus on the match and win. Where it's like, it might be, okay, I'm going for the timeout, I'm not interacting. You have to focus and think, how do I avoid them? Not just how do I hit them.
Human concentration, has biological limits. And every time I see Sonix at a tournament, it just seems like he surpasses it. And I don't know how he constantly doesn't.
All right, my theory is that he absolutely destroys the first few people he plays. It's just like, okay, these first pools matches or whatever, he's just like, I don't have to think. I don't have to think for the first few rounds, and then finally when it gets into later brackets, maybe someone will challenge me.
You're more right than you know, by the way, Jet, because for legitimate top players like Sonix, that is the approach.
Right.
You have to have a good autopilot, but right now, Cruncho at least pushing him to the point where he might be out of that. He might be shifting those gears himself because Cruncho really putting up a good fight on that first stock. Sonix does get out to the lead, but Sonic's a light character. We're not far from this stock being taken.
Yeah, this is prime Diddy Kong kill percent. If you can get a banana confirmed, definitely a lot of options here.
Yeah, and that is one thing that Diddy's going to have access to, just throwing the banana to try and beat spin dash whenever Sonix goes in, and he's going to be able to try and confirm off of it. But now, this is where it gets tricky. Sonix has taken away the banana, and he still has access to spin dash. How does Diddy combat this?
Yeah, this is something that I saw. Sonix versus Dakpo happens a decent amount, and this is a strategy that Sonix has thoroughly developed. He knows how to control the banana so well, and he is never going to relinquish it unless he really has to.
I was actually about to bring up Sonix versus Dakpo, and particularly because Dakpo is so good specifically around playing around banana as his win condition. So Sonix has clearly put a lot of thought into that. Did not put a lot of thought into that edge guard. Unfortunately, missing that ledge, but obviously still playing with a great lead, so it may not have the biggest impact.
Yeah, I remember there was a match at Edgeguard this last year where Dakpo decided they were going to try to time out Sonix. And, they stared at each other for a solid 4.5 minutes straight, and then Sonix timed out Dakpo.
I have a funny story about that, by the way. Back when Dakpo lived in my region, back in Dallas, in the Smash 4 days, we had a commentator named Zanzi who played Kirby. This was back when Duck Hunt was legal in that game.
Oh, I remember
Zanzi was playing from behind, and Dakpo played ZSS at the time. Was at 100%, and Zanzi was just dash dancing underneath the Duck Hunt tree. And Dakpo realized, oh, you're trying to cheese me with an up throw off the tree. So Dakpo took the next 5 minutes, did not touch Zanzi a single time, just went between the tree and the bush for 5 minutes and camped him out until the timer went.
I'm so glad we got rid of that stage.
That was a funny stage.
And especially on Zero Suit, how do you hit Zero Suit just flip kicking over there?
As a Kirby.
Yeah.
The answer is you don't. It was 5 minutes of Zanzi not hitting him a single time. It was one of the funniest sets I've ever seen.
Ganon couldn't even get up there without being.
All right, well, we're talking about the past, we're reminiscent, but right now in the present, Sonix is continuing to build upon this lead. Got a full stock on Cruncho, and Cruncho's having a hard time hitting back with that big damage. Love the aggressive edge guard, but Cruncho with a big reversal to bring us back into a set.
Last stock, and we see 4 minutes have passed, but it feels like there's been a few instances where it's nothing's happening, but for the most part, it's been fairly interactive, honestly.
I think that Cruncho has been forcing Sonix to at least get in some positions where Diddy actually has that mobility, right, where he says, I can threaten you here. You need to make a decision. And right now, Sonix is trying to end that game. Wasn't able to get it with the nair, but sliding in with the forward tilt. It is enough. He will take game one.
That's one of the risks you take when you're playing this Diddy Kong. When you think, all right, I'm in a safe position. Sonic is all the way across stage. There's no way he can interrupt my, I'm dead.
He's going to fly across stage. That sliding F tilt is just going to be so good, especially at this 150-ish% here. You cannot press a button safely. There will be lag on it, and Sonic will be there.
I mean, that was just a flat, hard punish on Banana Pull.
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if Sonix literally just reacted and said, oh, I can forward tilt that.
Yeah.
And That's one of the things about Sonic. Yo, we were literally just
Speaking
talking
of
about
Duck
Duck
Hunt.
Hunt.
Come on,
We
I
were
think
talking
this is
about
your
the
fault.
stage,
I
but
think this is your
apparently
fault.
it's the
Kimono, look what
character.
you've done.
I do see what I've done, and I'm not proud of it. Look, I want to see one thing from Sonix and one thing only. Anytime this guy comes out, anytime the gunman hits the field, I want Sonix to combo him as long as possible.
The gunman?
I just want to see him get comboed off stage. That's what I want personally.
Oh, that would be so funny.
Now, we do see the Duck Hunt counter pick, and honestly, I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. Like, if you actually get yourself set up, especially if you have a lead, Duck Hunt's ground control is so good that Spin Dash is a lot harder to use for Sonix.
Yeah, being able to set that can down is such a wall for Sonic.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the can itself. Oh,
it's gone.
Okay, yeah, just bite my tongue there. It seems like the can itself and the clay pigeon, they can be so difficult to go through because they're, you know, such far away from Duck Hunt where you can still punish off of it, that you're going to have to move differently. But when you're behind like this, it starts to get really difficult.
I've noticed a couple times, though, already, Sonix has been punishing the arc as the can goes out, and he's been going underneath it and punishing Cruncho every single time. Like, look at that. The moment the can goes up, he's just underneath it, finding that hole in the defense, and really making it count.
All right, Can. Setting up on the platform, I actually like that to limit. Okay, now Sonix probably has to approach me on the ground so that he can throw out the gunman, the clay pigeon, probably get some kind of hit confirm started. But yeah, Sonix says, look, do you know how to approach me? I'm going to test that right now and see how it is you want to try to get close to me and pressure me. Because, again, with Diddy Kong, you had the speed to do that. Now with Duck Hunt, you have to be really precise.
Yeah, it takes so much time to set up ahead of time to know where Sonix is going to go. And his movement mix-ups have been so good that it really feels like Cruncho hasn't been able to put the can in the right position ever, really.
I've been also loving how Sonix has been getting out of the corner. Every single time it feels like there might be an opportunity for Cruncho to really set up a ledge trap. Sonix has taken that away by going super high over the whole thing and reversing the situation on Cruncho.
Getting off stage to take that stock too. 3 stocks to 1 lead. It's going to be real tough for Cruncho to bring this one back. And to me, this is the perfect time to start comboing the gunman.
you just want to see the gunman die.
I just want to see him get punted.
But Sonic's all business right now. Not comboing no gunman. Just going straight to the head of the beast.
Chilling out here at the ledge, letting that cam bounce away. And once again, it's just so... It's so hard for Duck Hunt to get things started when he's not the one in advantage, right? Playing from behind with this character, it's hard.
And it's like, you have to have some confidence. This is a character that you kind of need a read just to even go for your regular setups. Where if you are behind and you're not able to figure out your opponent, you're kind of just hoping that the setup that you throw out by default works. And when it doesn't, you really got to call an audible immediately.
You see this with me, Gunner, and Samus a lot. And of course, Sonic's very intimately familiar with me, Gunner, having played Capitan Cito so many times. That there's this idea of, okay, you're very powerful once you get your projectiles set up, but you have to earn that. And right now, Cruncho having a really hard time earning those moments to throw out all those projectiles and set up the maze that Sonix is going to have to navigate. But, you know, does get the 1 stock, building up some damage too here. Like, we got to see.
And the other thing, it seems like Cruncho is able to find his projectiles sometimes. It's not going to take it now. But Cruncho is able to find some of his projectiles, but he has to do it at such a distance where he can't follow up. Because if he does do it follow-up range, he's going to get punished by Sonic being too close now.
This combo into the can, though. Gunman actually almost getting Cruncho out of the corner right there. Sonix does have to back up and respect it, but one more juggle at 155, and that's going to do it with the forward air.
Yeah, a little bit of a spin move this time, spinning in a different plane, getting that forward air, killing. And you know, it's just a tale of the whole game was exactly that situation over and over again. Cruncho would try to set up a wall. Sonix would either completely evade the wall or break through it, and then just set up an edge guard, rinse, repeat, game over.
Yeah.
And even when, you know, the wall did come into play, there wasn't range where it really mattered. Like, you take a couple percent, got hit with the clay pigeon, there was no follow-up to it ever. And it's like, just deal with it and then try again. You know, no real